Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. And today's video is for the Hey Little Magpie October challenge over on Hey Little Magpie Chat and Inspiration on Facebook. Each month we host a challenge with the chance of winning 1,000 Magpie points, which equates to £10 to spend at our shop. And I'm setting the challenge this month, and my challenge is to create a monochromatic layout. So choose one colour and you can team it with black and white and metals if you want to create your layout. So I'm scrapping a photo of Amelia on our summer holiday this year, and a tree bumblebee landed on her and just sort of sat there for about 5 minutes. She was very calm. She likes bees. So I took a photo and just wanted to scrap this. So she had a green t-shirt on, and that was my reasoning behind choosing green for this layout. So I'm starting off with Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide from Tim Holtz, and I'm blending it with a blending brush through my Tim Holtz stencil. It's a hexagon stencil. Now that's done, you'll see at the beginning I just marked with a pencil exactly where the photo was going to go so that I could work out where I wanted to put my blending. And now I'm coming in with one of my Lindy's Magicals, again in a green, I think it's called Green Lantern, and just adding some splatters around that area where I've stenciled. So I had great fun with this layout, pulling out all the scraps from my paper box in various greens, and that's what I'll be using today. So this really is a great stash busting project if you want to do that, or if you want to treat yourself to new stash. The colour swatch collections from 49 and Market are brilliant because they have everything that you need in a specific colourway. So they're great for adding to your stash if you want to bring in a specific colour to your collection, or they're great for doing monochromatic layouts, which I do really enjoy. So this is an old Pink Fresh Studio, I think it was a 6x8 paper pad, and I just saw this strip of green. It's like a olive green, I suppose, and I wanted to bring that in, so I'm just trimming that off, and that will sit down the right hand side there. And then I'm seeing what else I've got. This is a little scrap again. I think this is from the same Pink Fresh collection, and this one as well, and that's like a bluey green, but there's definitely plenty of green in that one. So just trimming off those branding strips that were left on there, and slowly starting to layer things up just to create a photo mat really around the photo of Amelia. And you'll watch as the video goes on that I slowly but surely cover up most of that stenciling. I really need to learn to bring it out a little bit further so that it shows at the end of the layout. So another piece of green. There's a theme, isn't there? And I'm just cutting off strips to add as layers, like I say, behind this photo. I didn't want to build it up too much because I didn't want to cover all of the stenciling, but I do cover an awful lot. So what's your favourite colour? Do you go with the colours in your photo if you're doing a monochromatic layout, or do you tend to go for your favourite colour? Green is my favourite colour. If somebody said what's your favourite colour, it would be green, but I do enjoy creating with blue as well, so I think those cool tones are the ones that I naturally reach for when I'm creating. So I just noticed that my photo had gone a little bit awry. Using wet glue, sometimes it slips, so I'm just fixing that. That big black title is from Vicky Bootin Where To Next from the chipboard set, and I thought that was perfect for this layout. And these circles I've cut from the Hero Arts die that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. It's two different sizes, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I just used some of my scraps. I think that star piece, the brighter green, is from a Doodlebug or a Bella Boulevard paper, and then that pale one is Boho Baby. It's the reverse of one of the patterns on Boho Baby from Simple Stories. So just continuing to add little bits and pieces, and now I think I'm ready to start gluing everything down. So I will distress these pieces off the camera and then add them to it. Now this piece that I'm gluing at the top, I noticed on the reverse that it had a printed piece that said Happy Times, and I thought that might work really nicely as a tucking in piece. So I just trimmed that off before adding that paper back to the top of the layout there. So just continuing to distress the edges and then stick everything down. I'm trying to work out exactly where I want these circles to go. And now I'm looking for some slightly more wordy pieces to add. And this one says Today's Stories and Adventures, so I thought that would tuck nicely at the top there. So So just deciding exactly what height to put it before distressing the edges and getting that glued down. And then I can get these circles done. Now this piece that I've just brought in is a wax seal that I created using one of our wax seal stamps, and I used a green wax and then just coloured the bumblebee in a gold pen. Again, we saw those as well, of course. So just fiddling about to make sure I'm happy with the positioning. It's quite a simple layout. The title does a lot of the talking, so just distressing the last few bits of paper and getting those situated. And you can see I didn't have enough of that boho baby paper to do a full circle of the smaller size, so I just fitted in what I could because I knew it would be tucked under the photo anyway, so I just cut out as big a piece as I could, and it works perfectly down there. So if you've watched any of my videos on my personal channel, you'll know that I do love a vertical layout, and when I've completed this mat, I decide that I definitely want to bring in some black and white just to tie everything together because I've got that black title. So first of all, I'm going to stick this Happy Times piece down that I mentioned earlier, and it just tucks in neatly on the right hand side there. And then I decide that I do need to bring some black and white in, so I bring in a nice big vertical strip of this diagonal striped black and white paper. I think this is from the Heart Eyes collection. I've just got this scrap left, so I'm being very frugal. That said, I do stick it entirely behind the photo. If I didn't have much left, I would probably just cut a little piece to go at the top and a piece to go at the bottom, but I was feeling a bit lazy today, so I just use the entire strip right the way behind the photo. So just distressing the top and bottom predominantly, just so that because that's the bit that will show. So that has distressed edges. And now getting that glued down again onto the photo mat, just so that I can move it around to check that I'm happy with the positioning before I stick it down onto the page. And you can see that I've more or less lost all of the stenciling on the right hand side of the photo there. So another piece from that Pink Fresh Studio collection. I think it's simply the best. It's a gorgeous collection with lots of greens. So, and this says Happy Things. So again, I thought that would work nicely. So I'm just going to tuck that under the bottom of the photo, overlapping that circle. And I really like the vertical line that that's brought into the page. It just draws your eye from top to bottom. So I'm ready to glue this whole set down, and you can see from the back, these papers really are a mishmash, but they work perfectly on the front. That wax seal fell off because the glue wasn't dry, so I'm just going to have to stick that back on in a second. Using my T-square ruler just to check that it's more or less straight. Just having to fiddle about a little bit with that big vertical piece that I put on. And there you have it. So tucking that wax seal back in, and then I can add the title and my journaling. Just checking that everything's stuck down. So just using my wet glue to stick that title down. And then I'll add some lines for my journaling. And my journaling just simply reads, sitting by the pool at the White House when this tree bumblebee landed on you and was quite happy just sitting. So just checking that everything's well stuck. And here I am, as I say, with the journaling. So just checking that that title was straight before I went in with my lines. And then once the journaling's down, I will bring in my date stamp, my roller date stamp, to add the date, which was 4th of August this year. And I'm using, what did I use? Was it bundled sage, I think? Or it could have been iced spruce to add that date at the bottom. And there's the final layout. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope you will join us on Facebook for the challenge. Thanks so much. Bye.